Captain Zainullah Zaki had flown C-130 cargo planes for the Afghan Air Force for 23 years, surviving Taliban attacks, mechanical failures, and impossible missions. But on August 15, 2021, as Kabul fell and desperate thousands stormed the airport, this 47-year-old pilot would face an impossible choice: his own family waiting at the gate, or 640 strangers begging for their lives. Some decisions don't have right answers, only terrible ones. Captain Zainullah Zaki checks the pre-flight instruments of his C-130 Hercules transport plane at Hamid Karzai International Airport, Kabul. At 47, he's one of the Afghan Air Force's most experienced pilots, having flown through 2 decades of war. These same hands have navigated through Taliban anti-aircraft fire, landed on bombed-out runways, and evacuated wounded soldiers from impossible situations. It's 4:30 a.m. on August 15, 2021. The base is unusually tense. American forces are withdrawing rapidly. Taliban fighters are advancing toward Kabul faster than anyone predicted. The government is collapsing. Zaki, command wants you on standby, says Major Ahmadi, the operations officer. Possible evacuation flights today. Evacuation? The Americans said we had weeks. The Americans were wrong. The Taliban took Jalalabad overnight. There may be 12 hours from Kabul. Zaki's stomach drops. 12 hours. His family, his wife Parisa, his 3 children Amir 16, Layla 13, and little Dahlia 8, are at home in the city, 20 minutes from the airport. I need to get my family. Not yet. We need pilots ready. If this goes bad, it'll go fast. Zaki calls Parisa. Habibti, listen carefully. Pack 1 bag per person. Essential documents, money, nothing else. Be ready to leave within an hour. Zainullah, what's happening? The Taliban are coming. Maybe today. I'll send a car for you when I can. And if you can't, then take the children and get to the airport. Gate 3. Tell the guards you're Captain Zaki's family. Wait for me there. What if the airport falls? Zaki doesn't answer because he has no good answer. By 8 a.m., the situation deteriorates rapidly. Taliban fighters enter Kabul's outskirts. President Ghani flees the country. The government dissolves in hours. Chaos erupts. At the airport, American forces begin emergency evacuations. Massive C-17s land, load frantically, take off. But there are thousands of Afghans desperate to leave. Interpreters, government workers, women's rights activists, anyone who helped the West or challenged the Taliban. Zaki, we're authorizing evacuation flights, commands Colonel Rahimi. You'll fly to Tajikistan, with as many passengers as the plane can hold. How many is that? Officially, 92 passengers, 64 paratroopers. But today, we're not counting. And my family. Get them here if you can. But we fly on schedule. Zaki calls Parisa again. No answer. He tries 3 more times. Nothing. The cellular networks are overwhelmed or shut down. By 10 a.m., the airport is surrounded by thousands of desperate people. They scale fences, rush security gates, plead with soldiers. The crowds grow by the minute. 10,000, 20,000, more. Zaki sees families with small children, old men struggling to breathe in the crush, women in burqas trying to push through. The scenes are apocalyptic. We need to start loading, Ahmadi tells him. Your plane first. My family isn't here yet. Zaki, look around. 10,000 families aren't here yet. We can't wait for everyone. Zaki makes a decision he'll regret forever. Send someone to my house. Give them 15 minutes. If they're not back, we load without them. A young soldier, Sergeant Kareem, volunteers. I know the area. I'll find them. Kareem takes a military vehicle and disappears into the chaos of Kabul. 15 minutes pass, then 30. No word. Zaki, we have to load. Rahimi orders. People are dying in these crowds. We can't delay. Zaki looks at the mass of humanity pressing against the fence. Hundreds of people screaming his plane's location, begging to board. His plane can save some of them. But his family. 5 more minutes. We don't have 5 minutes. Load the plane now. The cargo ramp lowers. Soldiers begin organizing a loading process, but it instantly breaks down. People surge forward, desperate, terrified. Fights break out. Children get separated from parents. Zaki tries to impose order. Women and children first. Stay calm. Everyone who can fit will fit. But there's no order in desperation. People push, climb over each other, carry elderly relatives, clutch documents in small bags. The official capacity of a C-130 is 92 passengers and seats. Zaki's plane has seats ripped out for cargo. He could fit maybe 150 people safely. But looking at the crowds, at the terror in their eyes, at the children, keep loading, he tells his crew. We'll fit what we can. 200 people board, then 300. The plane's weight indicators climb. Zaki's co-pilot, Lieutenant Bashir, younger at 32, looks worried. "Captain, we're exceeding weight limits. The plane won't fly safely." "It'll fly. I've flown overweight before, not this overweight. And we need fuel for Tajikistan. That's 2 hours flight time." At 500 people, Zaki knows he should stop. The plane is dangerously overloaded, but people keep coming, keep begging. A mother pushes her teenage daughter forward. "Please, take her. They'll kill her for going to school." An old man, must be 70, clutching a briefcase. "I was a judge. They have my name, please." A family of 6, parents, 4 children, the youngest maybe 3 years old. "Please, we helped Americans. Translators. They'll execute us." 550 people, 600. Zaki has never seen a C-130 this loaded. The plane sits low on its landing gear, suspension compressed. "Captain, we have to close the ramp," Bashir insists. "We're at critical weight. Just a few more." "Captain, we won't make it to Tajikistan at this weight. We might not even take off." 620 people. The cargo bay is beyond capacity. People are literally sitting on each other. The smell of fear sweat fills the air. Children crying, adults praying. Zaki makes the call. "Close the ramp. We're at capacity." The moment the ramp starts closing, screams erupt from outside. Hundreds still waiting, seeing their last hope disappearing. "Please, please," they scream. Some try to run toward the plane. Soldiers hold them back. Zaki climbs to the cockpit, his heart breaking. As he begins pre-start checks, he sees through the windscreen, Gate 3, where he told Parisa to wait. Through binoculars, he scans the crowd. There, is that them? A woman in a green hijab with 3 children. It looks like Parisa, but there are dozens of women in green hijabs with children. "Captain, we need to taxi," the tower commands. Taliban fighters reported at airport perimeter. Zaki makes a decision that will haunt him forever. He picks up his radio. "Tower, request 2-minute delay. I need to verify something." "Negative, Captain. You're cleared for immediate taxi. We have reports of Taliban at the gates." Zaki unbuckles, leaves the cockpit, runs down through the packed cargo bay. 640 faces look at him, terrified, hopeful, desperate. He opens the crew door, looks toward Gate 3. The woman in green sees the plane, starts waving frantically. It's Parisa. He's certain now. She has all 3 children with her. They made it, but they're on the wrong side of the security fence. Hundreds of people separate them from the gate. Taliban fighters are visible in the distance, approaching. Zaki has maybe 3 minutes before the Taliban reach the airport perimeter. His plane has 640 people depending on him to fly them to safety. His family is 200 meters away, but might as well be on another planet. He makes the hardest calculation of his life. If he delays to get his family, the Taliban might reach the plane. All 640 people die or get captured, including eventually, his family anyway, when the Taliban take the airport. If he leaves now, he saves 640 people, but abandons his wife and children to the Taliban. He runs back to the cockpit. Bashir sees his face and knows. "Captain, start engines, we're leaving." "Your family." "I said start engines." Bashir begins the engine start sequence. The 4 massive turboprops roar to life. Through the windscreen, Zaki sees Parisa realize what's happening. She's screaming. He can tell even though he can't hear her over the engines. Amir, his 16-year-old son, is trying to climb the fence. Layla holds little Dahlia, both crying. Zaki's hands shake on the controls, but he begins taxiing. Every meter he moves is a meter away from his family. "Captain Zaki, this is Colonel Rahimi." The radio crackles. "We see your family at Gate 3. Are you aware?" "I'm aware." "Then why?" "I have 640 people on this plane, Colonel. If I delay, the Taliban reaches us. Everyone dies, including my family. This way at least 640 live." "Zainullah, I'm so sorry." "Don't be sorry. Just promise me you'll get them on another flight." "I promise. I swear it." But they both know promises mean nothing in chaos. Zaki reaches the runway, advances throttles. The plane is so overloaded it barely accelerates. The runway distance markers pass. Halfway gone. 3/4. The plane should have lifted off by now. "We're not going to make it," Bashir says. "Too heavy." "We're making it." Zaki pulls back on the yoke with all his strength. The C-130 groans, shudders, fights physics. At the last possible moment, the wheels leave the ground. Barely. The plane climbs at an agonizingly slow rate, heavy and wallowing. Behind them, Kabul disappears. Somewhere in that chaos is Parisa, Amir, Layla, Dahlia, his entire world. In the cargo bay, 640 people are silent, realizing they survived. Slowly, quietly, they begin to pray, to cry, to thank God and this pilot they don't know. Zaki flies mechanically, watching fuel gauges. They're burning fuel faster than planned because of the weight. The math is grim. "We won't make Tajikistan," Bashir says quietly, running calculations. "Then where? Uzbekistan maybe. If we climb to optimal altitude and the winds cooperate." "Calculate it." They fly for 90 minutes. The fuel situation becomes critical. Zaki requests emergency landing at Termez Airport in Uzbekistan. The Uzbeks, overwhelmed with Afghan refugees, almost deny permission. This is Afghan Air Force C-130, declaring emergency. We have 640 evacuees and minimal fuel. We're landing at Termez, with or without permission. How many did you say? 640 people. A long pause. Cleared to land. Emergency services standing by. They'll want to see this. Zaki lands the overloaded plane with fumes in the tanks. When the ramp opens and people start disembarking, Uzbek officials are stunned. How many people are on this plane? They count as people deplane. 640 total. Women, children, elderly, families, some carrying babies born during the flight, many crying, kissing the ground, thanking Zaki. A woman approaches him, holding a newborn. Captain, my daughter was born somewhere over the Hindu Kush. Because of you. What should I name her? Zaki can barely speak. Name her hope. Name her freedom. Name her anything but my name. Uzbek authorities provide temporary shelter. The refugees begin processing for asylum. Most will eventually reach the West, America, Europe, Canada. Lives saved, futures possible. But Zaki sits alone in the airport terminal, trying to call Kabul. No connections, no way to reach Parisa. Bashir sits beside him. You saved 640 lives today, Captain. I abandoned my family. You made an impossible choice. There was no right answer. That doesn't make it hurt less. For 3 days, Zaki hears nothing from Kabul. The airport fell to Taliban within hours of his departure. The desperate scenes of people clinging to American C-17s, falling to their deaths. The chaos, the violence, the collapse. On day 4, his phone rings. An unknown number. Zainullah? It's Parisa. Her voice is thin, scared, but alive. Parisa. Oh God, Parisa. Where are you? Are the children okay? We're alive. We found someone. A smuggler. We're in Pakistan. It cost everything we had, but we're out. Thank God. Thank God. Zainullah, when I saw your plane leave, her voice breaks. I thought you abandoned us. I had 640 people. The Taliban was coming. If I waited. I know. I understand now. A woman we met. She was on your plane. She told me how many people you saved, how overloaded you were, how you almost didn't make it. I understand why you left. Do you forgive me? A long silence. I don't know yet. Ask me when we're together again. Through the Red Cross, UN agencies, and pure luck, Parisa and the children eventually reach Uzbekistan. The reunion is complicated. Joy and pain mixed together. The children struggle to understand why their father left them. Amir, 16, barely speaks to him for weeks. You chose strangers over us, Amir finally says. I chose 640 lives over 4, including yours. Eventually, the Taliban would have killed all of you if they caught that plane. You don't know that. Yes, I do. That's the burden I carry. The family is eventually granted asylum in Canada. Toronto, a small apartment, a new life. Zaki works as a flight instructor at a small airport. No military flying, just teaching students basic navigation. One day, a year after the evacuation, a woman visits the flight school. She's Afghan, maybe 30, with a toddler. Are you Captain Zaki? I was. Now I'm just Zainullah. I was on your plane. From Kabul. I was 7 months pregnant. I had my baby in Uzbekistan. This is her. She shows him the little girl. I named her Najat. It means salvation. Because of you she has a life. Because of you I have a daughter. I just wanted to say thank you. After she leaves, Zaki sits in his office, tears streaming. Parisa finds him there. That's the 5th person who's found you to say thank you, she says quietly. Does it make it worth it? I don't know. Does it? Zaki thinks about that question constantly. Was abandoning his family to save 640 strangers the right choice? Morally? Mathematically? Humanly? His therapist, a kind Pakistani woman in Toronto, puts it differently. You didn't choose between right and wrong. You chose between 2 terrible options. That's not a moral failing. That's a tragedy. 2 years after the evacuation, Zaki receives a letter. It's from Afghanistan, smuggled out through Pakistan. It's from Sergeant Kareem, the young soldier who tried to reach Zaki's family that day. Captain, I wanted you to know what happened. I did reach your house. Your family had already left for the airport. On my way back, the Taliban stopped me. They shot me. I survived but was captured. I spent 16 months in Taliban prison. They tortured me, asking about pilots who evacuated people. I never told them about you. I was released 2 months ago, barely alive. I'm writing to tell you, your family was safe that day. You didn't abandon them. The chaos at the gates separated you. You made the right choice. I hope this brings you peace. Minor Kareem. Zaki reads the letter 10 times, then shows Parisa. He suffered because of my choice. Zaki says, no, he suffered because of the Taliban, because of war, because of choices politicians made, not because of you. I could have waited, and 640 people would have died, including eventually us, if the Taliban caught us. Amir, now 18,
Reads the letter too. He's been distant from his father for 2 years, struggling with anger and abandonment. Dad, can I ask you something? Anything. If you could go back to that moment, knowing everything you know now, would you still leave us? Zaki thinks carefully. Yes, because it was the only choice that saved the most lives, but I would hate myself just as much for making it. That's what I needed to hear. That it still hurts you. Every single day. Then I forgive you. Not because what you did wasn't painful, but because you carry that pain too. On the 3rd anniversary of the fall of Kabul, a memorial is held in Toronto for Afghans who died in the evacuation. Zaki attends with his family. At the memorial, he meets 12 other people who were on his plane. They've organized a reunion. Captain Zaki, we wanted you to meet our families, says one man. This is my wife, who I married in Canada. This is my daughter, born in Toronto. None of us would exist without your choice. One by one, the survivors introduce their children, their new lives, their hopes, teachers, engineers, students, shop owners, lives rebuilt, futures created. How many of you have children born since the evacuation? Zaki asks. 17 hands go up. How many have started businesses, graduated, gotten married? More hands. Then maybe, Zaki says quietly, maybe it was worth it. But that night, lying awake, he still sees Parisa's face through the windscreen, screaming as his plane taxied away. He still hears Dahlia crying. He still feels the weight of choosing strangers over family. His therapist was right. It wasn't a choice between right and wrong. It was a choice between terrible options, but knowing that doesn't make it hurt less. Captain Zainullah Zaki flew 640 people to freedom on an overloaded plane that shouldn't have been able to fly. He saved more lives in one flight than most people save in a lifetime, but he left his family behind to do it. Some call him a hero, some call him a monster. He calls himself a pilot who made an impossible calculation and lives with the result every day. The last flight out of Kabul wasn't about glory or courage. It was about math, desperation, and the terrible burden of being the person who has to choose who lives and who might die. Zaki chose to save the most lives possible, and he'll spend the rest of his life wondering if that was the right choice, knowing there was no right choice at all. That's what heroism sometimes looks like. Not clear moral certainty, but impossible decisions made in impossible moments, and the courage to live with the consequences forever. His plane flew. 640 people lived. His family survived, but the cost of that salvation was measured in trauma, separation, guilt, and the permanent question that haunts every quiet moment. Did I do the right thing? Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. Sometimes it's both at once. And sometimes there is no answer at all. Just a choice made, a plane that flew, and a life spent carrying the weight of what that moment cost everyone involved.